Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Please, if you can hear me, let me know in the comment section. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Please, if you can hear me, let me know in the comment section, please. Good afternoon, sister. Good afternoon, ma. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, very good. I really appreciate that. I can't hear anything. Wow. Somebody is saying, I can't hear anything, and somebody is saying, I can hear you. So I don't know. Please, can you all hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me. Is there any other person that is not hearing me? Or, sorry, the person who said she wasn't hearing me, can you hear me now? Okay. Please. Okay, I can hear you, sir. Okay, thank you, sister. But so, Sister Jennifer, can you hear me now? If you can hear me, please let me know that you can hear me so that we can proceed. I'm still holding on because you said you can't hear me. So if you can hear me now, I think it's better you let me know, please. Can you hear me now, Sister Jennifer? We can hear you now. Okay, very good. So thank you for confirming that. Okay, good afternoon once again. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Frank. Welcome to Driving School Tutorial. Today we are going to answer some questions together under the topic Distanza de Sicurezza. And please remember, here we just answer questions. If you want to, get a better understanding regarding the explanations of everything that has to do with the syllabus, you can join our Zoom class. You can reach out to me through this number you're having on the screen, 388-643-1524. Then you can join our Zoom class. You have 2 days of free classes to understand the whole thing. Okay. Aside that, today we are going to answer questions together, and we are having one of the questions here, which is our first question for today, which says, lo spazio totale di arresto è pari allo spazio percorso nel tempo di reazione. So what is our response to this question? And please mind you, if you believe the answer is vero, you leave it in the comment section. If you believe it's falso, you leave it also in the comment section. But at the end of the day, I will always try to do the explanations. And if you're having any question to ask, do not hesitate to ask your question, because that is why we are here, to learn from each other. So what is our response to this question number 1? Lo spazio totale di arresto è pari allo spazio percorso nel tempo di reazione. What is our response? E se lo spazio totale di arresto è pari allo spazio percorso nel tempo di reazione. What is our response? Is it true or false? Vero or falso? Please, I'm not seeing any response. If you don't know it, you can still you can still leave a comment like no idea. You understand? So so that we can proceed, because if you are just there not responding, I would think maybe I'll still have to wait. Ok. Dice lo spazio totale di arresto è pari allo spazio percorso nel tempo di reazione. What is our response? Lo spazio totale di arresto è pari allo spazio percorso nel tempo di reazione. What is our response to this question number 1? Okay, so let's dive into the explanations. He said, lo spazio totale di arresto è pari allo spazio percorso nel tempo di reazione. Now, two things are being compared here, and we are going to try to, analyze the whole thing in order to figure out which one is the right answer. Because it is easy to just say it is vero or it is falso, but we're not going to do that. We're going to explain it. So this question is talking about, here we're having vehicle A and vehicle B. We're having vehicle A and vehicle B. The question is saying that the total space that vehicle B needed to stop, the total space that the driver of vehicle B needed to stop vehicle B in terms of need is equal to the space that he needs to react. You understand? That is what that question is talking about. So what is the total space to stop a vehicle, and what is the space that you need to react? Or the spazio totale di arresto and the spazio di reazione, otherwise tempo di reazione. They're almost the same thing. You just talk about time and space. Now, here, let's assume we call this vehicle B, and we call this vehicle A. And now, vehicle B saw vehicle A, who stops for to allow the passing of a pedestrian or the crossing of pedestrian. Now, vehicle B saw this vehicle A stopped. Now, this is a danger for vehicle B, which means vehicle B also need to stop. But don't forget that vehicle B is on motion. So as vehicle B is on motion, remember, we said that, or let's say, if vehicle B was moving in a velocity, let's say it's inside inhabited area. So let's assume it was moving in a velocity known as 40 kilometers per hour. Remember, we saw it before. Those of you that are in our class, you saw it before that when you are moving in 40 kilometers per hour, if you take the first zero away and multiply it by 3, what you are going to have, let's say 40 cancelled 0, you multiply it by 3, what is going to give you is 12. So in 1 second, vehicle B covered 12 meters. So let's assume it took vehicle B 1 second to react, because the reaction is that you see the right foot of vehicle B was on this accelerator while he was moving, because he was pedaling, right? Now, when he now saw this danger, he decided to take his foot away from the accelerator pedal and shift it to the brake pedal in order to stop the vehicle. So during this process, let's assume it took him 1 second. Now, in 1 second, as he was moving in 40, in the velocity of 40 kilometers per hour, then he covered a meters of 12, which is 12 meters distance. So this is the space that this driver needed to react in this kind of situation. Now, what is the totale spazio di arresto? Remember, we said the driver is moving 40 kilometers per hour. Now, when the driver now, after he reacted, now he started applying the brake. So he started applying the brake from here. Then before he was able to stop the vehicle here. So from here to here is the space that the driver, covered while matching the brake of his vehicle before the vehicle was able to now finally stop. Then the space that he covered from here to here is known as spazio di frenatura. We'll see that later, or let's say that is going to help us in the future. Now, what is now totale spazio di arresto that the question is referring to? The totale spazio di arresto now is the space, which is this yellow space that the driver covered while he was reacting to stop the vehicle, plus the space that he covered during the time he started applying brake to when the vehicle now finally stopped. And that is known as totale spazio di arresto, or spazio totale di arresto. So the spazio totale di arresto, now we can go ahead to say is the spazio di reazione plus spazio di frenatura. So you see now, you have two spaces inside, which is spazio di reazione and spazio di frenatura. You understand? Is what gives you spazio totale di arresto. But the question said that lo spazio totale di arresto è pari. What is pari? Pari means equal, which is lo spazio totale di arresto è pari allo spazio percorso nel tempo di reazione, which means the total space, stopping space is equal to the reaction space, which is not true, because the space you take to stop your vehicle, the total space you need to stop your vehicle is the space that you need to react when you saw the obstacle or the danger, plus the space where you start applying the brake of your vehicle. So those spaces that you covered, put together, they are known as the spazio totale di arresto, which means spazio di reazione is inside spazio totale di arresto, because it's from here to here, and spazio di reazione is inside. You also need to pay attention when a question will also tell you that spazio di frenatura è pari allo spazio totale di arresto. It is not true, because spazio di frenatura is inside spazio totale di arresto. Spazio di reazione is inside spazio totale di arresto. It is two of them put together that makes spazio totale di arresto. Therefore, we can easily say the answer to our question is falso. Lo spazio totale di arresto è pari allo spazio percorso nel tempo di reazione. The answer is falso. I don't know if it's well explained, but if you are having anything you don't understand, please, it's better you ask. And you can leave your question in the comment section. If you're having any question, whether in this topic or in this particular question, or even outside this topic, you are free to ask your question. Okay, so that is question number one, and we said the answer is falso. Then question number two, it said, lo spazio totale di arresto non dipende dalla velocità. So what is our response? Because it said lo spazio totale di arresto non dipende dalla velocità. Is it true or false? Please, I will appreciate if you can specify your answer by your question by saying either question one, question two, or thereabout. 1, 2, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, thereabout. So lo spazio totale di arresto non dipende dalla velocità. Is it true or false? Lo spazio totale di arresto non dipende dalla velocità. He said, lo spazio totale di arresto non dipende dalla velocità. So, okay. As we are responding to this video, this question, please, I would appreciate if you can give this video like, share it with your friends. That will really help me a lot, and I appreciate you as you do so. Okay, very good. I said, what uh, what is minimum of distance? Now we are going to answer that one. Minimum of distance, or distanza minimum. You understand? I will answer it based on that distance. So, but let's proceed first with this question number 2. So, question number 2, he said, lo spazio totale di arresto non dipende dalla velocità, which means remember, always please put this image, the reason why I arranged this image like this is for you to have a picture to refer to when you want to answer question. Put this image to your, in your memory, so that you always remember that here you have a spazio, di reazioni, here you have spazio di frenatura, and the sum of it is spazio totale di arresto. And the question says, let us read the question again. It said, lo spazio totale di arresto non dipende dalla velocità, which means is referring to the two of them, both of them, which is referring to that this space that you covered during reaction and even the one of during braking does not depend on velocity. Now, remember, we said that if this vehicle, or if the driver of this vehicle is moving, let me take this thing off, please. Okay, it's moving 40 kilometers per hour. 40 kilometers per hour. 40, sorry, km. 40 kilometers per hour. And in 1 second, the driver will cover 12 meters. We remember how we got there in 1 second, right? Now, let us change the velocity. Because in 1 second, we got 12 meters, right? Now, let's assume the driver or this vehicle is moving outside inhabited area where you have the maximum speed of 90 kilometers per hour. So let's assume that the driver is driving 80 kilometers per hour outside inhabited area. So if he's driving 80 kilometers per hour, we're going to cancel this for 0 and multiply it by 3, and we are going to get, I think we are going to get, is it 38, right? Yes, I think so. Let me help myself. We said 8 times 3, right? Sorry, 24, right? 8 times 3. 8 times 3. Oh. Sorry, 24. Yes, 24. Okay, now this vehicle is moving, the driver is moving 24, sorry, covered 24 meters in 1 second. Which is the double of this. Yes, let's say, yes, it's the double of this. In 1 second, because the velocity changes, it doubles the distance that it covers, even in that, that tempo di reazione. The same thing, just that the velocity changes. Instead of 12 meters, it's now 24 meters, right? 24 meters, which means that if, for example, So let's assume now, in this case now, so the tempo di reazione of this vehicle, or sorry, the spazio di reazione of this vehicle is going to be from here to here. You understand? Which means if this vehicle, the driver of this vehicle is keeping this same distance, it will definitely not be enough for the driver of this vehicle to stop this vehicle in a situation like this. So you see how velocity changes affected this distance. So it is not true that totale spazio di arresto does not depend on velocity. Rather, it depends on velocity, because at the end of the day, if the velocity doubles, then the reaction space will double. You understand? So velocity is a huge factor that influences, a total braking space or stopping space. So lo spazio totale di arresto non dipende dalla velocità. The answer is falso. Now, the question is, let me read the question again. It said, the minimum distance. Okay, now, we said, for example, this vehicle here, or let's use another value. So let's assume that the driver is moving in autostrada, for example, where you are having, or should I use like that? No. Let's answer it according to the first question. So we said it's 40 kilometers per hour. And you ask, what is the minimum distance? I think it's better to answer it regarding to that. Now, the minimum distance of 40 kilometers per hour is, we said 4 times 2, which is going to give us, 4 times 3, which is going to give us 8. What am I saying? 12. 4 times 3, which is going to give us 12. And now, this 12, what is the minimum distance of 40 kilometers per hour? That is the question. Now, the minimum distance that you will, the minimum distance, safety distance, is equal to the minimum distance that you cover in 1 second. Take note of that. I think it's better I make that one clear. Let me repeat. The minimum safety distance, because which one is safety distance? For example, if I go here, like, for example, let's come here. Okay. Now you see these two vehicles, right? Which we name vehicle A and vehicle B. The distance that vehicle B is maintaining from vehicle A is known as safety distance. You understand? Which is safety distance. And this safety distance is, the same distance that you covered in 1 second. Which means if you are going to keep a distance from the vehicle that you are following, you are supposed to keep a distance that is equal to a distance that you covered in 1 second. So for example, if I'm in autostrada, which is 130 kilometers per hour maximum, and if I'm driving 130 kilometers per hour, which is to say, I'm going to cover in 1 second, I'm going to cover, I think, 39, right? 39 meters in 1 second. Let me check my calculator, because sometimes it's easy to make mistake with this, multiplication of 15. So we said 13 times 3, 13 times 3 is equal to, yes, 39. So in one seconds, I cover 39 meters. You understand? But let's assume I'm outside inhabited area. You understand? I'm outside inhabited area, which is 90 kilometers per hour. 90 kilometers per hour. So 9 times 3, which is going to give me that. I think 27, right? Wait. 9 times 3, 27. So in 1 second, I cover 27 if I'm moving in So let me list it like that, like this. 130, I will cover, we said 130, we said we covered 39 meters. 90, we said we'd cover 27 meters. Okay, 27. Now, let us take it one after the other. In this 130, what is the minimum distance? The minimum distance then, for those of you that are in our class, you remember the tricks about counting 4 below and counting 4 above. Counting 4 below is you are simply looking for the minimum distance, and counting 4 above, you are looking for the maximum distance. You understand? So take note of that. Now, in this 130, we said we covered 39 meters. What is the minimum there? Then you have to take 4 away, which is 39 minus 4, which is going to give us, I think 35, right? Yes, it's going to give us 35, which is the minimum distance here is 35, which is 8, 7, 6, 5. Yes, 35. With the maximum distance is going to be 40, 41, 42, 43, 43. 43. You understand? So not to make it look confusing, let me rearrange it. Let me rearrange it so that you understand. So in that 39 meters, 39 minus 1 from 39, if you minus 1 from 39, is going to give you 38. Minus 1 again, minus 2, then is going to give you 37. Minus 3 is going to give you 36. Minus 4 is going to give you 35. So you do it minus 4 behind and minus 4 above. Minus 4 behind is the minimum distance. Minus 4 above is the minimum distance, is the maximum distance. Therefore, the question now could be, like for example, in this case now, and we said this driver is driving 40 kilometers per hour. What is the minimum distance that this driver can keep to enable this driver stop his vehicle in terms of necessity? Which is, remember we said 4 times 3 is equal to 12. Now 12, the minimum of this 12 now is going to be, you have to take 4 away from this 12. And if we take 4 away from 12, it's going to give us 8, right? Please, if I'm wrong, you correct me in the comment section. It's going to give us 8, which means the minimum distance that this driver will have to keep from this vehicle, if he's moving 40 kilometers per hour, is supposed to be 8 meters. Anything less than that, boom, that is what you are going to hear. So I believe I've answered your question. So that is it. The minimum distance does not have a fixed value. It depends on the velocity that you are traveling on, or you are moving on. So that is it. Now let us go back to our questions. We are supposed to, to enter question number, I think question number 3, right? We are done with question number 2. Yes. So question number 3. If your question is answered, please, you can let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, that is it. Number 3 said, lo spazio di frenatura diminuisce se I conducente ha I riflessi pronti. And please, if you are still not satisfied with that, the explanation, still let me know, because we are here for that. You understand? Maybe I will try to switch the way of explanation, but I think it's well explained though. So number 3 said, lo spazio di frenatura diminuisce se il conducente ha I riflessi pronti. Lo spazio di frenatura diminuisce se I conducente a i riflessi pronti. Lo spazio di frenatura diminuisce se what is our response? What is our response? Lo spazio di frenatura diminuisce se i conducente ha i riflessi pronti. Okay. What is our response to this question number 3? Se lo spazio di frenatura diminuisce. Lo spazio di frenatura diminuisce se il conducente ha i riflessi pronti. What is our response to this question? Okay, so let us dive into the explanations. Okay, very good. Now, okay, some of us were still responding, but though it's time to explain. Lo spazio di frenatura, he said, diminuisce se il conducente ha i riflessi pronti. Now, I was so happy, with this question because it's going to help us, you understand. Lo spazio di frenatura diminuisce se il conducente ha i riflessi pronti. Now, we said that this is the spazio di frenatura. And we said if this driver was moving 40 kilometers per hour, 40 kilometers per hour, and the reaction space of this vehicle, of this driver, will be 4 times 3, which is 12 meters, right? But do you know that this 12 meters we said is in 1 second? So which means if he take this driver to move his foot from here to here in 1 second, then it will cover 2 meters. But what if he takes the same driver 2 seconds to take his foot from here to here? It will take, then the driver will cover 12 times 2, which is going to be 24, right? Now, let's assume it take the driver 3 seconds. So be it, you understand? So the more time it took you to remove your leg from here to here and start matching brake, the more this space will increase. You understand? Now, what is important is that bear it in mind that the time that it takes you to, to react is known as irreflexy, which is reflection. Some people are very slow. Some people are very fast, to react to something. Reflection. Before you know what, they already start reacting. You understand? And this thing have effect in this area and not this area. Because that question is talking about spazio di frenatura. If it was talking about totale spazio di arresto, then the answer would have been vero. But it's talking about spazio di frenatura. And remember, the reflection has nothing to do with spazio di frenatura. Because spazio di frenatura is influenced by the brake pad, the road, type of road, the condition of the road, the tires, and the rest. And it has no influence with, reflection. Reflection only influence or have influence in that area of the time that you start matching brake. You understand? Oh, look at this is a danger, and then you start matching brake. By the time you start, applying that brake pad, the reflection is over. You understand? So it is not true that the spazio di frenatura diminuisce. You understand? Is even the question. Let me come. It said lo spazio di frenatura diminuisce se il conducente ha I riflessi pronti. No, it will still. Now, if this spazio di frenatura was supposed to be, let me say, 20 meters, even though you have riflessi pronti, this will still be 20 meters. You understand? What will change these 20 meters is your tire, your brake pad, what else again? Your braking component, then the road condition, whether it's hill, slope, you understand? That is what we change this 20 meters to either 18 or thereabout, you understand? But you see, that reflexy, it can change this instead of, let me say, we said 24, let's say 24, because in two seconds, it will be 24. It can change it to either 20 or thereabout, you understand? Because you were fast enough to quickly react, you understand? But it's not going to have effect in this area. And that is why the answer to that question is falso. He said, lo spazio di frenatura diminuisce se il conducente ha I riflessi pronti. Falso. If it was, take note, if it was lo spazio totale di arresto diminuisce, then it would have been vero. You understand? But here it's talking about lo spazio di frenatura. No, it does not reduce because you have, a reflection, fast reflection. You understand? So the answer is falso. So I believe I answered that one correctly, or you understand the explanation of that one. Let's move to question number 4. Question number 4. It says, lo spazio totale di arresto dipende dalla velocità. So what is our response to this question number 4? Please do me well by sharing this video, like it. I appreciate you as you do so. You can also super chat if you find it helpful, and I will also appreciate that. So question number 3, still under Distanza di Sicurezza. What is our response? It said lo spazio totale di arresto dipende dalla velocità. Question number 4, sorry. Lo spazio totale di arresto dipende dalla velocità. What is our response? Is it true or false? Lo spazio totale di arresto dipende dalla velocità. What is our response to question number 4? Lo spazio totale di arresto dipende dalla velocità. What is our response to this question? Is it true or false? Okay. No time to waste. He said, lo spazio totale di arresto dipende dalla velocità. If you pay attention to the last explanations, I think I almost anticipated the question to this, the answer to this question, because it said the total space, the total stopping space depends on velocity. Remember, we said that if you are driving 40 kilometers per hour, in 1 second, here you covered 12 meters, right? We also said that if you now decide to drive 80 kilometers per hour, in 1 second, you covered 24 meters, right? Then we also said if you are driving, for example, let's say, let's say 90 kilometers per hour, 90 kilometers per hour, in 1 second, you cover 90 kilometers per hour in 1 second, 27, right? 27. Is it 27? Yes, 27. 3 times 10, 30 minutes, 3. Okay, so 27. Then if you are traveling 120 kilometers per hour, 120 kilometers per hour, in 1 second, you are going to cover, I think, 2 times 3, 4 or 6, that is 46 kilometers per hour, 46 meters, right? Yes. 120, sorry, sorry, just say 46 or 36. 36, not 46, please. 36 meters. So now you see that here it changes based on velocity. So velocity have influence in spazio di reazione. And remember, spazio di reazione is inside spazio totale di arresto. Now, going back to the question, you can see that according to the question, that lo spazio totale di arresto dipende dalla velocità. The answer is 0. Now, when you now have a question that said, for example, lo spazio totale di arresto è indipendente della velocità, it means it's not true, because the total space that you need to stop your vehicle depends on the velocity that you are driving on. If you are driving 80 kilometers per hour, the space is different. If you are driving 50 kilometers per hour, it's different. So it depends on velocity. And the answer is 0. Lo spazio totale di arresto dipende dalla velocità. And the answer is 0. Now, question number 5. Before we go to question number 5, please remember, if you are not yet in our Zoom class, you can join us by reaching out to me through this number here, 388-643-1524. But if you're already in our Zoom class, you don't have a problem at all. And don't forget, here we only answer questions. So if you want to understand more, that is when you need to join. So that is it. Now, question number 5. It said, lo spazio totale di arresto dipende dalle condizioni dell'asfalto. So what is our response to this question number 5? Lo spazio totale di arresto dipende dalle condizioni dell'asfalto. Lo spazio totale di arresto dipende dalle condizioni dell'asfalto. Lo spazio totale di arresto dipende dalle condizioni dell'asfalto. What is our response? Vero o falso? True o false? Lo spazio totale di arresto dipende dalle condizioni dell'asfalto. The question I will ask you is, what is asfalto? If you don't know what is asfalto, that is to say, you might easily get the question wrong. So it is better for you to ask, what is asfalto, if you don't know it. You understand? Lo spazio totale di arresto dipende dalle condizioni dell'asfalto. Okay, so let us have a, okay. Now, asfalto, in the other word, is asphalt, or in English is asphalt, which is, to make it easy for us to understand, you see every road has a surface, you understand? That surface is called asphalt. The one they used to tie, when they tied a road, you see that tying is asphalt, which is the surface of the road, you understand? The surface, the pavement, of that road is what they call asphalt here. If I give you an example, the tiles in your room, in your house, you understand? For example, the tiles in your house is the asphalt, for example, even though it's not, but just to give you an example. So take it to be, if this is a road, the tiles, the type of tiles that is in that road, you understand? So that is what they are referring to here as asphalt. Ok, so lo spazio totale di arresto dipende dalle condizioni dell'asfalto, which means the total space that you need to stop your vehicle depends on the condition of the asphalt, the condition of the road. You understand? Now, if you look at this road here, you agree with me that, this, what we have here is maybe, let me say, a wet road. You understand? A wet road. So it's maybe raining, or it just finished raining, and here you have another type of road, a road in another condition. You understand? So the road is not tied, and you see you have mud everywhere. Then you have this one here, which is this one, they normally refer it to strada inevita, you understand? So it's a road covered with snow, you understand? This type of road is in another condition. Then you also have this one, where, you don't have rain, it's sunny, everywhere is dry, the tire is having good contact with the asphalt, which is the ground level. So you see different condition. How does this affect the total, braking or stopping space? Yes, it does, because in a situation like this, you have, a tire that can easily slip. You understand? So as you are trying to apply the brake, even though the vehicle is still going to stop, the brake is still going to be effective, but it's not going to be as effective as when you are having a dried road and, the rest. You understand? So the condition of this road will definitely influence how long it's going to take this vehicle to stop. The same thing with this one here. You understand? Because here, you see, if you match the brake here, definitely the contact between the tire and the ground level is going to be affected by the condition of the road, because you don't have asphalt in this road. What you are having is, untied road. So it's still going to affect the the stopping of the vehicle. Sorry, the mouse just stopped working. Wow. Oh, no. I think it's here, right? Please let me change the mouse because this one just stopped working. 1 minute. Okay. Okay, so sorry about that. It's a technical, I don't know, these electronics devices. So that is it. Now, as I said, this the condition of this vehicle here, while you are trying to stop it, is going to be different because it's going to be affected by the condition of the road, because of the relationship between the tire and the ground level. The same thing here, you understand? Obviously, while you are trying to stop your vehicle here, the total espacio de arresto will be longer. The same thing with this one. It will be longer here. It will be longer here. For example, that is why you see some questions that will tell you that total espacio de arresto aumenta se la strada è bagnata. The answer is vero. Total espacio de arresto aumenta se la strada è innevata o coperta di neve. The answer is vero. You understand? So, but in a case of this kind of situation, total espacio de arresto diminuisce. You understand? In this kind of situation, because you are in a perfect condition here. You are having good tires, you are having a road that is dried, so in this case, it will reduce. Also, when you are climbing the hill, total espacio de arresto diminuisce. You understand? Then when you are coming down from the hill, it aumenta. So depending on the condition of the road, the total espacio de arresto can be affected. Therefore, we can say that lo spazio totale di arresto dipende dalla condizioni dell'asfalto, and the answer is vero. To question number 5, the answer is vero. Yes. So the answer is vero. Now, question number 6, it said lo spazio totale di arresto è indipendente dalle usura dei pneumatici. Lo spazio totale di arresto è indipendente dall'usura dei pneumatici. What is our response to this question number 6? Lo spazio totale di arresto è indipendente dall'usura dei pneumatici. So it's like the mouse went on holiday before, so now it's back. Wow. Lo spazio totale di arresto è indipendente dalle usure dei pneumatici. What is our response? Question number 6. Lo spazio totale di arresto è indipendente. Now, this is what you need to understand in all these explanations to help you, because if you understand this image very well, you can always, try to picture what are they talking about. Now, when the question is referring to totale spazio di arresto or spazio totale di arresto, it means that one is involving reaction time, and in reaction time, velocity can influence it, reflection can influence it, then also is involving braking space. Braking space, what can influence it? The condition of the tire, the condition of the road, the condition of the tire, the road, and I think the weather that happened, that has to do with condition of the road also. You understand? So you try to remember. Sorry, the brake pad also. You try to figure out what are they referring to. If they are referring to spazio totale di arresto, try to see if, for example, now if I tell you that the condition of the steering has effect to spazio totale di arresto, that is not true. Or maybe condition of the fuel that is inside the vehicle, or the engine oil has something to do with it. It is not true. You understand? But when I'm talking about something that has to do with the tire, and you know that tire, for you to stop your vehicle, tire have a lot of role to play. Or I'm talking about something that has to do with brake pad, and it is the brake pad that will go and clamp the tire to enable the tire to stop. You understand? So all those things, try to, on your own, figure out these things that they're talking about. Does it have any relationship? Does it have any relationship with what is that mechanism that will help that vehicle to stop? All those kind of things. Try on your own, even though you have not heard of the question before. But if you're able to understand this one, it will help you to navigate the question, especially on your exam day, because that is what is important. However, the question number 6, it said, was it question number 6? Yes, it's question number 6. Se lo spazio totale di arresto è indipendente dalle usure dei pneumatici, which is telling you that this total space does not depend on the wear out of tires. Now, there is no how you can convince me that while you are trying to stop your vehicle, that this tire A, will be more effective than tire B. There is no how you can convince me on that, because definitely tire A will have more grip on the ground level, the asphalt. You understand? Whereas tire B, because there is no grip there, so you don't have a lot of friction. You understand? So the question is telling you that the total braking space is independent, which means that it does not depend on it. So whether the tire is new or the tire is old, whether it wear out or not, it does not depend on it, which is not true. It is false, because it heavily depends on it. Because the more the tire is new, the more you still have battistrada, which is the tire tread, the more the tire will be more effective when you are trying to stop your vehicle. So it is not true that the total space does not depend on the wear out of the tires. Lo spazio totale di arresto è indipendente dall'usura dei pneumatici. No, it is not true. The answer is falso. So let us look at this question number 7 that happens to be our last question of today, which says lo spazio di frenatura è quello percorso dall'inizio della frenata all'arresto del veicolo. What is our response to this question? Number 7. That happens to be our question number, the last question for today. Thank you so much. I appreciate you too. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. E se lo spazio di frenatura è quello percorso dall'inizio della frenata all'arresto del veicolo. Lo spazio di frenatura è quello percorso dall'inizio della frenata all'arresto del veicolo. This is the last question of today. And you must be very careful, so that you don't get it wrong. It's just like when you are having so many bullets and you are about to shoot the last one. So you have to be very careful so that you get your target. Lo spazio di frenatura è quello percorso dall'inizio della frenata all'arresto del veicolo. Lo spazio di frenatura è quello percorso dall'inizio della frenata all'arresto del veicolo. Question number 7. I want to be very sure that we all responded to this question number 7 carefully, with attention, carefully. It said, lo spazio di frenatura è quello percorso dall'inizio della frenata all'arresto del veicolo. Now, let's assume that I'm in example and I answer this question wrongly. Do you know what I'm going to ask myself? Or maybe I didn't even remember. I will now try to find out what is spazio di frenatura. That you see, I keep telling us, if they tell you, Mr. Frank is a Nigerian. Now your question is, who is Mr. Frank? If you have never met Mr. Frank before, you understand? That will now enable you to know if he's a Nigerian or is from Cameroon. You understand? So, it said lo spazio di frenatura è quello percorso dall'inizio della frenata all'arresto del veicolo. Now the question is, what is spazio di frenatura? You understand? Now you now ask yourself, they said Mr. Frank is a Nigerian. Who is Mr. Frank? You understand? Now you now know, they now tell you now, this is who Mr. Frank is. Then you will now also find out, what is Nigeria, or where is Nigeria? You understand? So Nigeria is located in the western part of Africa. Okay, then you will now be able to compare or to decide to say, okay, it is true that Mr. Frank is from Nigeria. You understand? The question is saying, lo spazio di frenatura è quello percorso dall'inizio della frenata all'arresto del veicolo. The first question, what is spazio di frenatura? Remember, spazio di frenatura, if you remember that image that we draw, in that image that we draw, remember we have one space that we covered and we have the other one that we covered. You understand? The first one that we covered, we call it spazio di reazione, which is the reaction space. Then the other one we said is spazio di frenatura. Spazio di frenatura. That is what we call. And now they said lo spazio di frenatura è quello percorso dall'inizio della frenata all'arresto del veicolo. Now you now try to understand what do they mean by inizio della frenata all'arresto del veicolo. As in inicio della frenata all'arresto del veicolo. Remember, we said please, before I proceed with this, I want to sincerely appreciate so many of you who have been maybe reaching out to me through messages, even comments, calls in different ways. I sincerely appreciate all your efforts, and is one of the things that drives me, because so many of you would just think maybe because he's doing it and YouTube is paying. No, that is absolutely out of it. You understand? Your messages, your encouragement. Sometimes there are some messages I'll receive. Sometimes there's some comment I'll receive. I will just be encouraged. But there are still sometimes some people will just call you as if you are owing them. That sometimes discourage people a lot. But to cover up with the encouraged messages and the comments, I really want to appreciate so many of you for that. So that is it. Now, remember we said when this Mr. Man saw this other Mr. Man here, stopped to give right of way to this sister here crossing the road, then during that process, his leg was not on the brake pad. He was still, on the accelerator pedal. Then getting to this space here, he now started applying the brake, in which he has already covered this place. Then the space that he covered, where he started to apply the brake, to when the vehicle now stopped, is known as spazio di frenatura. Now let us now translate it, which means lo spazio percorso dall'inizio della frenata al punto in cui il veicolo è frenata o è in arresto, which means the point in which this driver started to apply the brake to the point where the vehicle is stopped. And remember, they always use arresto here because it is the right word. You cannot call, I'm using stop because in English you don't have arresto. You understand? In English you don't have arresto. It's going to give you either stop or stop. You understand? So, but the correct word is arresto because it's being forced to stop. You understand? So this space that he covered here is called spazio di frenatura because it's the space that you start to apply the brake, then getting to some extent, then the vehicle now stop. You understand? And that is what they explain here, telling us that lo spazio percorso, sorry, sorry, I think something is mixing here. Okay, look at it here. So it said, lo spazio di frenatura è quello percorso dall'inizio della frenata all'arresto del vehicle, which is the stopping space is the space covered from the beginning of when you start to apply the brake to that point where you were able to stop your vehicle. It is called lo spazio di frenatura, and the answer is vero. So guys, this is where we are going to leave it for today. I don't know if we're having any question in the comment section, but I'm not seeing any. So while I try to wait to see if anybody is having any question, please, I also want to remind us that the year is about to end. And if you have written exam before, do not be discouraged. Keep writing. As long as the motorizzazione or the Ministero dell'Infrastruttura, which is the motorizzazione, have not maybe one day come out to say, if you have written 2 times before, 3 times, or 10 times before, you can no longer write. Maybe because we are having too much cars outside. Nothing like that. You have, you know, many times as you want to keep writing and keep trying. Do not listen to what people might be saying. You have written 3 times, you have written 31 times. Many people that you are seeing out there driving, they might not come out to tell you how many times they wrote their exam. Some of them, you don't even know if they wrote exam. You understand? So you that is trying hard to make sure you pass your exam, keep trying, regardless of whatsoever somebody is saying. And do not allow anything to discourage you. And if you have not given a try, you are saying today, tomorrow. Remember, procrastination is dangerous. So try your best, you understand? And for those of us who are very lazy doing quiz, I want to remind you that you have every good reason to make sure you do quiz, because it doesn't make sense that you are preparing for exam, you don't do quiz. Some people who already passed their exam, they even do quiz more than people who are preparing for exam. You understand? So there is this habit you need to adapt to for this period that you want to pass your exam. Adapt to that period, that habit of wanting to do quiz, wanting to know why this question is like this, because curiosity is another problem that so many of us is having. We don't have that curiosity to want to know why did I fail it? Why is it vero? Why is it faso? So many of you have children at home that can explain everything to you, but you just fail it and keep it to yourself. You have people, friends, relatives. My number is there. You can send it to me. Why did I fail this question? Leave it in the comment section. Send it to my WhatsApp. I will try my possible best to respond to you. But the problem is that so many of you will fail the question. You will not even bother to want to know why you failed it. That curiosity is not there. And on your exam day, the question will be the number 1 question. The same question, maybe the one you failed the other day, will be number 22. Then you will not be having 5 questions that you don't know inside your 30 questions. Tell me how you are going to pass that kind of exam. But if you had, a question why you failed that question before, and somebody explained it to you, now you now know it. Even if that question come out on your exam day, then you just smile over it. This question that is before us, that is saying lo spazio di frenatura è quello percorso dall'inizio della frenata all'arresto del veicolo. If this question is going to come on your exam day, there will be no additional subtraction. The question is going to pop out just the way it is, like this. It may not appear to be question number 7, but this is how it's going to come out. And if you have known this question, you have known it. It means that on that day, you just answer it with a smile on your face. But if you don't understand the question, that day you will feel it under air condition because of just a question that you didn't even bother to, want to know what is this question talking about. So please, let there be that curiosity. Why is it like this? What is the meaning of this? What are they talking about when they said asfalto? What is inicio? Ask. Don't think that somebody will laugh you. It is not your language. It is not your language. You see, when I was going to driving school then, I remember I asked a question and a girl was laughing at me. The teacher then was, very angry with the girl because as she was laughing, I waited. So when she finished laughing, then I asked, was I supposed to answer this question or to ask this question? Sorry. That was when the teacher now told her, you see, this guy want to learn. And if I don't make mistake, this guy speaks more than 2 languages. And even your dialect, you can't speak it. The Italian language, you are still struggling with it. So it was a kind of, this kind of, because that time, after every question, they have this screen that then you are having everybody is having his or her mouse where you can respond to each question. So if you respond Vero and another person respond fast, so anybody that failed it, they will see it. And this same question came and she failed it. The teacher was very angry with her because she was laughing at me, because why she was laughing was the way I constructed the language. But I didn't even see it as a problem. If you laugh, you laugh, because it's not my language. If for example, somebody challenged me to speak in my dialect, I will still make mistake. You that is listening to me, if somebody challenge you to speak in your dialect, you will make mistake. If you really have to speak with somebody who is good at your dialect, you make mistakes. So all these are languages that we borrowed. So don't be ashamed to ask questions. And don't be ashamed to speak it. Because without this, you'll just be there romancing the whole quiz, and at the end of the day, you are expecting miracle to happen. Yes, miracle do happen, but not sometimes with things that has to do with computer. You understand? So please, be very serious with your quiz. Take out time. Dedicate time. Avoid videos, saga. Avoid them for now. It is part of life. You can do those ones later. After passing your exam, nobody will disturb you. You can, decide to do whatsoever you want to do. But now that you are preparing to write your exam, take it seriously. Do quiz. Wake up. Set alarm. And at the end of the day, you'll see the impact. You'll see the changes. Well, that is where I'm going to leave it. Let me see if we're having question. I can't find your number. Look at my number here, please. This is my number, 388-643-1524. That is the number there, sir. Sorry, sister. I'm not having any other question. Oh, wait. Okay. So please, guys, this is where we're going to leave it for today. But please, above all, the quiz that we did today, I just want you to consider this word that I'm saying now. Take your quiz seriously. Do it. Now you even have phone that you can do it from. When I did mine, I did it with laptop. And the laptop was very heavy, very hot, and the question was 40 questions. So before 40 questions in 30 minutes. So before you finish 2 SCADA, you are having 60 minutes, right? 60 minutes. Then this is the secret. I do my quiz. I don't just do quiz and move to the next, how do you call it? The next SCADA. I don't do quiz and move to the next SCADA. Moreover, I remember there was a time I was doing quiz, then I slept off. I was so pained because there was a question that I reserved. I said, this question, at the end of the day, I'll go and check it to be convinced if it was Vero or Faso. But when I slept off, so everything wiped out. You understand? I was pained because I couldn't find the question again and I didn't write it down. You understand? Now you can even do a screenshot with a question, you leave it and just 20 minutes. 20 minutes. You can hold it with one of your hand. You can even do it with one of your hand, rest on. So please, yes, I understand that the social media syndrome that people who are doing quiz now are dealing with, we didn't dealt with all those ones then, but at the end of the day, you still have everything, to do to do it better. You understand? Yes, you still have everything to do it better. And for so many of us that are giving excuses, some wife we said, and let the husband first go, let the husband go first. The husband will say, let the wife go first. You are just giving excuses that don't even, I don't think they have price or prices. You understand? So no time is a bad time. You understand? Every time is a good time. And tomorrow will never come. Tomorrow will always be tomorrow. So you keep saying tomorrow, 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 until you know what, you start seeing gray hair. However, please be encouraged to do quiz, be encouraged to ask questions. You have written before, keep writing. Forget about whatsoever somebody is saying. You understand? Keep writing. 10 times is not anybody's concern. You understand? Until you get your license in your hand. So guys, we're going to leave it here for today. Have a wonderful weekend. See you next Saturday if nothing changes. And remember, if you're not in our Zoom class, you can reach out to me through this number here. You have 2 days of free classes where we explain things in details. Have a wonderful day. See you some other time.